Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing this evening? It is currently 12:56 a.m. on this very cold, very fallish night, Saturday night, going into Sunday morning. It is currently, are you ready for this? 43 degrees outside. I had to pull out my winter coat tonight. It's really, really cold. And I literally have on sweat shorts and a t-shirt, and my winter coat is in the back, but I walked it outside and I was like, oh my God, it's so cold. Anyway, had such an amazing day today. It was such a fun day. Last night, after I vlogged, did I finish Aristotle and Dante last night before? No, I finished it last night after. I think I did. Did I finish it last night or the night before? Anyway, I think I finished it last night. Aristotle and Dante dive into the oceans of dive into the water of the world. Ugly cried, bawled my eyes out. It was such a beautiful sequel. I loved it. And then I started My Heart is a Chainsaw, which is one of my 2 books for Peter's Book Club this month. And I didn't really know what to expect from this book. It's like, I have the heat on 75 in here, and that's a little warm. Okay, now I have it down to 72. But anyway, the heat just went from 43 to 44, so it's getting warmer all around. I didn't really know what to expect from it. It's a final girl book, supposedly, so it's about this girl, and she lives in Idaho, and she knows like everything there is to know about horror movies, which she calls slasher movies. And she lives in an area where there's like this lake where this like massacre happened that was very similar to kind of to Friday the 13th. So the book opens with a murder happening, and then it goes in and kind of tells her background story. And if you ever saw the movie back in the day, Wild Things, she's very much like Neve Campbell in Wild Things. And she has like this kind of tragic life, and she doesn't talk to her mom, and she lives with her dad, who's an alcoholic, and so she kind of like deals with things emotionally through slasher movies, horror movies. And at first, I was kind of like, I'm not really sure I'm into this book. Like, the way that it's written is kind of difficult to follow and stuff. And now, I'm like an hour and 20, it's 12 hours and 25 minutes. I'm like an hour and 25 minutes into it, and I'm loving it. I am like so addicted to this book. It is so good. And the main character's name is Jade. Like, I'm so interested in her as a character. This writer, his name is Stephen, I think Jones Graham, Stephen something Graham, or Stephen Graham Jones, maybe, I don't know. Anyway, he is a phenomenal writer, like phenomenal. It's very rare anymore, and obviously because I love to read cozy mysteries, which are kind of like easily written, you know, but it's very rare that I read a book where I'm just completely wowed by the author's not only technical skill at writing, but just absolutely poetic way of using language. I mean, stylistically in a way that you would know it was them. And there's only a few authors that I've read the last couple years that I'm just like that mesmerized by. I trimmed my beard again today, and I don't know what it is. I tried to trim around my nose, but I feel like I keep on missing it or something. Like there's like, I feel like there's like 1 or 2 like beard hairs that are like long, because it's like itching on my nose. But anyway, there's only a few authors that I'm like wowed by in today's time, I should say, their stylistic writing. Benjamin Iler Sines, who wrote Aristotle and Dante, I mean, he's definitely one of those. The book was fantastically written, the sequel and the original. But other than, like, this book reminds me a lot, not just of the topic, but it reminds me a lot of Grady Hendrix writing. So if you've read, like, What is that? Do you hear that? Oh my God, where is that coming from? I was like looking around, I didn't see any cars revving up like that or motorcycles. But if you've read My Best Friend's Exorcism, or the Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires, or this most recent one, I also read Horror Store, which I thought it was fantastic, but it hasn't gotten great reviews. That's another one of his. I think that might have been his first one, actually. Well, he's written like five or six books, but like these are just his most recent ones and the most popular ones. And then his most recent one is called Final Girls Support Group. And if you're looking for a book to read during the month of Halloween, I would highly suggest that book. Because it's all about, well, it's all about like if horror movies like Halloween, Friday the 13th, Silent Night, Deadly Night were like based on actual true events, which some of them are, as we know. That's actually our true crime book that we're reading for the month, is Behind the Horror. But it would be like if all of those movies were actually based on true events, then who was like the original like final girl in those massacres? And then they like are all part of this support group together that they've been going to for years and years and years. I think I talked a lot about it on here when I was reading it. It's just fantastically done. But Grady Hendrix's writing reminds me a lot of this guy's writing. But there's also like a lot of Native American culture that is like spun into the characterization of Jade. And that's really interesting too. She's like, anyway, I don't want to ruin it for anybody. It's just fantastically done. I would highly recommend it. It's very scary. And just, she's kind of like a loner. And although I think she met somebody that's going to be like a friend of hers, but I'm not like, that far into the book yet. It's really, really good. I actually, when I started it, I was like, oh, 12 hours of this. Like, I am not going to be into this book at all. And then like 20 or 30 minutes into it, listening to it, I was like, I really like this. Like, this is really good. And last night, I actually, like, I was driving home and I did like one more loop around so I could listen to like 10 more minutes of it because I was so into it. So yeah, that was last night. And then today I slept in and I went and I have both my coffees here because I did a review of Katy Perry's order, which is a vanilla soy latte, tall. And I have just a little bit left in there. Yeah, it's good though. And then I got just a regular. People are like driving like crazy tonight. Did you hear that? And then I got just a regular Pike Place coffee from Starbucks. And then I also over here have water. So I'm all set. And got up today and I was kind of like, when I went to bed last night, I was like, well, maybe tomorrow, because I knew that we had these plans tonight with our friends. I was like, maybe tomorrow I'll just take a break, and tomorrow and Sunday, and not film any videos, and just watch some, shows with Alex, and watch a movie tomorrow night, maybe, because we didn't know what we were going to do. I thought Alex honestly would go out, maybe with some friends downtown or something tonight, because he usually does something on Saturday nights. But he didn't want to. He was like, no. I was like, I want to watch a movie at home. So do you want to watch? He was like, yeah, let's watch a movie. That'll be fun. So anyway, he hung out in bed all day today, like doing stuff and like watching movies and shows and stuff. And well, not movies, but he was like catching up on his shows and looking at TikTok and all that kind of stuff. So I went and did a review video. I did a booktube video, and then I did a come shop with me video on my Peter Does Stuff channel for the Container Store, which was really fun. I hadn't been in the Container Store in a long time. So I went and did that, and then I came home and I filmed a drama video. I wanted to film a Peterisms video, but by the time that I got home, I only had an hour to upload all of that and then get ready to go to our dinner, because we had to leave at 6:30. I don't know how I got all that stuff done, but the vlog I didn't, because the vlog was still like uploading. I didn't post it till I think like we got home at like 10 something, And then the booktube video I'm going to actually post tomorrow, and it's just my review of Aristotle and Dante Dive into the Waters of the World. So if you want to watch my booktube video, it'll be up. I think I scheduled it to go up at 3:15, I think, something like that. 3:15, I think. And then tonight we went to dinner with our friends, this other couple, the one that went on the trip with us, and then the one that we had the baby shower, Alex threw the baby shower for with his other friend. We went to dinner with them tonight to Northside Social. And Alex and I split, what was it called? Jalapeno, cheddar, some kind of spinach dip. And then it came with tortilla chips. And then Alex had it was called Margarita-ish pizza, and it was a margarita. The pizza looked really good there. He had a margarita. It was a margarita pizza, like spaghetti, sauce. But then it had like some special kind of sausage on it. It looked really good. And then I had a wedge salad with no bacon on it. It was really good, but there was way too much dressing on there, which if I complain about a lot of dressing on a salad, there's a lot of dressing on a salad, because I like extra dressing, but there was a lot of dressing on it. But it was really good. And I mean, for me, like, you really can't go wrong with a wedge. I love a wedge salad. Several years ago, you guys, this is so funny. I hadn't actually had a wedge salad till, like, I don't know, 7 or 8 years ago. I mean, I'm sure at some point in my life I'd had one, and whatever, like, you go to like Christmas dinner at my aunt's house or something, I'm sure at some point she served a wedge salad or something. I've had one in my life. But my friend, when we would go out to dinner with her, she would always, or our friend, this couple that were friends, another couple, she would always get a wedge salad at this place. It was before it was District Tap. I can't remember what it was then. But anyway, she would always get a wedge salad, and it always looked so good. And I was like, so one time she was like, do you want to try it? And I was like, yeah, sure. And I was never like a huge blue cheese fan before then, and now like I totally am, but I love blue cheese dressing. So anyway, after that I started getting wedges, and I like just totally fell in love with wedge salads. And it's also kind of like in steakhouses, they usually have wedge salad, so it's a really easy go-to for me, because I can get a wedge salad with no bacon and it fills me up. But this was not a steakhouse that we went to tonight. This is kind of just like this cute, it's called Northside Social. It's in Broad Ripple. It's a little bit north Broad Ripple. But they have like a lot of pizzas. They had like steak on the menu. They had fish. It's kind of a place you go and have wine or, some kind of beer. Alex and our friend's husband both had a beer tonight. And then, so anyway, so I had that, and then I had buffalo cauliflower. That's like, Buffalo Wild Wings, but it's Buffalo Wild Wings. Buffalo Wings, but it's not. It's cauliflower instead. Actually, this restaurant that's right over here that's called Wolfie's, this is where we go sometimes after meetings. We went there for my birthday this year. Tanya and I, the last time that we were there, we got buffalo cauliflower, and I'm like obsessed with buffalo cauliflower. Like anytime I see it on a menu, which I think maybe this was only the second place I've seen it, but right here at Wolfie's, they have it, and I love it. I love buffalo cauliflower. I don't know why, but it's just nice that there's like another option for me to get something that's vegetarian on a menu that's kind of cool and different, Which, by the way, I wanted to address a question that I got on my vlog maybe it was 2 nights ago? I don't know. But it was a good question. It was like, Peter, like, when you are like jealous of the fact, or when I've been jealous in the past of not being able to like sit on the back patio with Alex and have like a glass of wine or something, like, couldn't I have some kind of like special drink or something and sit out there and whatever? So I want to talk about that in a second, because I actually think it's a really good question. But anyway, let me finish the dinner thing first. So that's what I had for dinner, and it was delicious and very filling. And then our friend, she and her husband got, I don't even know what she got for dinner. I don't even remember. She and her husband got calamari to start. And then I don't remember what she had to eat for dinner. Isn't that the weirdest thing? Well, her husband had a steak. I do know that. Because it was like a steak, and then it had like this blue cheese crumble and dressing, and he asked for it on the side. That's the only reason I know he had a steak. But anyway, we sat there, and that was really fun. And then afterwards, we went to the Indianapolis Museum of Art, and there was this garden area there called Newfields, and it's where Melissa and Jason and Alex and I went for Christmas, because they have all the pretty Christmas lights. I think I ended up showing it on this channel or something else. But anyway, I did film tonight, and I already put it together when I got home, and it's all ready to go tomorrow on, excuse me, my Peter Does Stuff channel. And this was called Harvest Nights at Newfields. And Alex got the tickets for the 4 of us. And it was really fun. It was like, you walked around and there was like spooky music playing and tons and tons and tons of plastic pumpkins that were lit up in the woods. It was really pretty. And then there was this huge mansion. Well, the Lilly Mansion is there. So if you guys know Lilly, the pharmaceutical company, like half of Indianapolis works at Lilly. It's huge in Indianapolis. So the pharmaceutical company, Eli Lilly. So the Lilly Mansion, the original like owners of Lilly, is on the grounds of the Indianapolis Museum of Art. And they used to like serve meals and stuff there, and then there was like the garden house. They don't do that anymore. I think it's closed off to the public now, but so you couldn't even go on the grounds for this. I don't know why. Like at Christmas time, you could walk right up on it. You couldn't go inside, but you could walk right by it. That's actually where they had like apple cider and all that kind of stuff, and like hot chocolate and whatever. But this time you couldn't walk up there, and it was really cool. It was like, I don't really know how they did it, but they were showing like this movie on the side of the mansion, and it wasn't like a movie, like they were just rolling the movie. It was like you were watching the mansion. It was like somebody like filmed it and animated it and did everything for this sole purpose, because it was like, you would see like this one room, like the windows, and then it would show people like going to bed in that room. And then it would show like this ghost over here. It was just really cool how it all worked. Unfortunately, that part of the video I couldn't include because it had music over it, and it was like 30s scary music, like from like a 30 or 40s scary music, you know? And I thought for sure it would get copyright, whatever. So I was like, okay, I can't include that in there. This lip balm is almost gone. So we walked around there for about 40 minutes. It was really fun. There's actually this Van Gogh exhibit at the art museum that Alex and I really, really want to go to. So this other couple, we decided that we were gonna, like the 4 of us were gonna go. But it's only through October, I think, so we need to go quickly. It was funny because when I was saying that I was going there, my friend Valerie texted me today, and she was like, "Are you going to the Van Gogh exhibit?" And I was like, "No, we're going to Newfields for this thing." But she was like, "Well, I heard it was beautiful." I heard it was beautiful too. I heard it was amazing, the Van Gogh exhibit. It's like this 3D Van Gogh experience that you go to. Alex loves stuff like that, so that'll be fun. I don't know when we're going to do that, but tickets are on sale through the end of October. So then Alex and I decided that we were going to watch a movie, and so we came home, let the dogs out. I worked on the YouTube stuff. I got my vlog up, and then I got my BookTube video done and like scheduled to go up tomorrow. And then I got us walking around Newfields. I put that together to go up tomorrow. And then I changed into my pajamas. Alex had his little he had matching sweatsuit on, black and gray tie-dye. It was real cute. And we were hanging out with the dogs in bed, and then we came downstairs, and I really wanted to watch Malignant because we have HBO Max, and so you can watch movies for free, you know, that come right when they come out before they go to the movie theater. But unfortunately, we didn't watch Malignant while it was still free on HBO Max. It is now only in the movie theaters, I guess. So, or you can rent it online for $19.99. But I was like, I'm not paying $19.99 to rent it when we had it for free. So there was that, and I was not happy about that. So I was like, okay, what are we gonna watch? So then I was like, do you want to watch A Quiet Place 2? And Alex was like, I haven't even seen A Quiet Place 1. And I was like, yeah, babe, we watched it together, don't you remember? And he was like, no, I don't think I've seen it. And I was like, we watched this movie together. I remember watching it together. And he was like, well, I don't remember seeing it. So I'm like, okay, what movie should we watch? So I Googled, because I really wanted to watch a scary movie and we were having fun and stuff. So I was like, I Googled scariest movies of 2021. And I don't know why this was on the list, but something is in your house, or someone's in your house, or whatever, is the book that was by Stephanie Perkins that they adapted it into a movie for Netflix, was on Netflix. And so I was like, we watched the trailer, and I was like, do you want to watch this? Because I was down to watch it because I'd read the book, and Alex was like, yeah, sure. So we watched it. It was really, really good. I was kind of surprised, honestly. It's nothing like the book. Like, the end of it is similar to the book, kind of. But I don't remember anything else from this movie being in the book at all. And I actually just downloaded Stephanie Perkins' newest book that's called something like There's Someone in the Woods, or something like Something in the Woods, or something like that. I think it's called There's Someone in the Woods. The first book that she's written many books, but the first book that she adapted those young adult anthologies. My True Love Gave to Thee, which is like all holiday short stories by famous authors. Love that anthology. One of my favorite. I'm not a big short story anthology reader. That was fantastic. And then I can remember sitting on the front porch reading a second one. So she did one at Christmas time, but it was holiday stuff. So it was all different holidays. It was Hanukkah, New Year's, Christmas, everything. And then there was a summer one that came out. I can't remember what the summer one is called, but I can see the cover in my head. It's yellow and blue. And the holiday one was like blue and white and had like people skating on it and stuff. I loved those stories. They were so fantastic. And it really introduced me to a lot of really great writers, too, that I love. So anyway, she wrote those, but she's also, I think she had a story in each of them, but she also, she edited, she was the editor and put together the anthology. I can't remember what the second one is called. Anyway. I really like her as a writer. So, but it was different than I thought it was going to be. And it was actually really gory. I thought it would be, since it was Netflix and it was like a young adult book. I mean, it reminded me of like a newer version of kind of like I Know What You Did Last Summer kind of thing. But it was good. So if you're looking for a scary movie to watch on Netflix, I would recommend that one. And then, yeah, that was it. And then Alex was watching the trailer for You, because he's really excited about the next season coming out. You know, I read that first book, and I never watched this. I tried to get into the series, and I just couldn't get into it. And I know people think that's crazy when I say that, because everybody's like, oh my God, I love You. I love that, so much. I think I need to, watch it. I think I only got 2 or 3 episodes into it. I need to, maybe not even that, maybe just 1.5 episodes. I think I need to go back and start watching it again, because everybody says how great it is. And I want to finish the Dexter books and I know Mel would love if I did, because she loves Dexter so much. But I want to finish the Dexter books because the new season of Dexter is coming out, and I want to start watching the show. I watched 1 episode of the show, and while I was watching it, I was like, I know that the rest of the series doesn't really have much to do with the TV show past the first book, but I was like, I still want to read the rest of the series first. It's a really good series, because it is scary, and it's a really well done mystery series, really well done, but it's also hilarious at the same time. And I can't remember what, Jeff Lindsay, is that his name, the author? He is such a fantastic author of mysteries. I mean, what he has created in Dexter as a character is just phenomenal. So, got lots to read and watch. Now tomorrow, I'll have 3 videos all ready to go up. My booktube video, my Peter Does Stuff video, and my vlog. So I don't know that I am going to film any other videos tomorrow. If I do, I'll probably just film a drama video and at most a Peterisms video. Well, what else would I have? I don't think that I'm gonna do a review video tomorrow. I think I'll wait till Monday. Got some stuff to do next week. It's a beautiful night out. Talked to Tanya tonight. She has been working so much. This tall vanilla soy latte, like, I would drink this on a regular basis, like maybe not a tall, maybe like a grande, but this is really, really good. I really like it. And I really like the taste of soy milk, and I can taste that. I can taste the soy milk in it, like that it is, you know what I mean? Like I can taste that it's soy milk and not just regular cream. I don't love the taste of regular cream in coffee. I don't mind it, but you know, sometimes I'm in the mood for it. When we were on lockdown, I don't know if you guys remember, but I used to make my own iced coffee every day, and I would put like flavored creamer and all that kind of stuff in there. That was kind of fun. You guys, I don't know what is the deal with my hair. Like, I've asked my hairstylist so many times. It's so poofy on the sides. My hair is so thick, you guys. Like, look at this, right? And it, like, I just can't get it to do anything. I'm so over it. I need to, like, take a day and, like, try to figure out what I want to do with my hair. I always just part it on the side and then swoop it over. But, like, my swoop doesn't go over all the way. And then it's like this part sticks out. I'm just all over it. I guess there's more important things I need to worry about in the world than my hair. But, you know, I'm just all over it right now. What is this car just doing sitting on the side of the road over here? What else was I gonna say? So yeah, it was a good day. So yeah, I don't know that I'm gonna film the whole, I don't know that I'm gonna film many more videos tomorrow, or any more videos tomorrow. It just depends. We'll look around. I wrote some ideas for some drama videos that I want to do in the next couple days, but I filmed 2 drama videos yesterday and hadn't planned on doing that. And, so I don't know. And then I filmed 1 today, and then I don't know what I'll film tomorrow. We'll see. Connor Prairie has a Halloween thing too. It's the Headless Horseman thing. And I know I saw a sign right here for it when I was driving by the other day. It was like, get your tickets to Headless Horseman. I can see the sign, but I can't see what it says after that. That would be kind of fun to do too. There's like a wagon that you go into the woods. But if it's raining, it wouldn't be fun to do that at all. And I don't know that I would love it this cold. Do you guys remember that coat that I wore last year? I got it at the outlet. I feel like I've worn it the last 2 years. If anybody remembers something happening to this coat and that I left this coat somewhere or I said something about it, will you put it in the comment section below? I know it sounds crazy, but sometimes you guys remember a lot more than I ever do about what I talk about on here. But I looked everywhere for this coat tonight and I could not find it. Do you guys remember that navy blue Ralph Lauren coat that I had? It just had like a red polo symbol on it right here, and it had a hood. I used to wear it a lot when I vlogged. I have no idea where that that coat is. And first of all, we need to go through our coat. It stopped while I was talking about everything that was in the coat closet. Anyway, everything in the coat closet that we have that we need to clean out is pillows, wrapping paper, coats, coat vests, puffy vests, all kinds of coats I haven't worn in years, some of them, and probably never would again, even if they fit me. Pillows, because when we have people like stay over on the couch and whatever, we have a bunch of pillows up there, blankets, scarves, mittens, gloves, hats, all kinds of stuff. And we need to go through it and clean it out because boots, we have boots in there. It's just a mess. And I'm actually gonna, I think that's one of the things, that's a quick clean, but I need to have Alex go through and see which coats he wants to keep, because I'm gonna go through and I am going to see which coats in there are like ones that I would never wear again, because there's a lot of coats in there that I have that I would like, even if they fit, I wouldn't wear them again. Did I already say that? I feel like I just said that a little bit ago. But anyway, and then I'm gonna donate them because they have those like coat run, I mean nice coats. They have like coat runs and stuff like that, you know, every year for coat collections. I'm gonna do that because we probably got, I bet we've got 20 or 30 coats in there, and then clean up that area. And then in the basement I have like 3 or 4 coats that are brand new that I bought. Well, one of them is upstairs, and it's this red plaid Abercrombie puffy coat that I bought. You guys, this coat, I don't know if you guys remember this, but like we went Black Friday shopping a couple years ago in Edinburgh at the Edinburgh outlet. I love the Edinburgh outlet. And I bought 2 Abercrombie coats. One of them was, back in the day, Abercrombie, their like sizes were so screwed up. Like their extra large was like basically a small, but it's not like that anymore. And so I found these 2 coats that were, I was like a size bigger than they were, but I don't know, maybe they'll still fit someday. Alex has been wearing them. One of them is a green, it is a red plaid, it is so beautiful, puffy coat. And it was like, you guys, it was like 200 and something, because we went and looked at it at the mall, and I remember Alex like, he was like, that coat would look really good on you. And I like tried it on, and I was like, I'm not paying, like, I think it was like $260 or $280. I was like, I'm not paying $280 for an Abercrombie coat, like when you could pay that much money or so much more and get like a, you know, a full weather coat, or, you know, I really like North Face and Patagonia stuff. And so I was like, forget it. And then I also had seen this, I really wanted like a camouflage like army coat. And so when we were there, they were marked down on clearance, and then it was Black Friday sale. It was like 50% off. I ended up getting that coat. I got both of those coats for some ridiculous amount of money. I mean like $20 or $30. I don't even remember how much they were, but they were so cheap. I was like blown away. I could not believe it. So I got those coats, and they've been sitting in, well, the army one is sitting in the basement on a hanger, because we have like this rack down there, by where, we have a, like when you walk into our basement, like the big part of the right when you walk in is all like a laundry area, like with our washer and dryer and stuff. And so, and then I bought, I don't know how to pronounce the brand, it's French, Marmont. I bought that Marmont coat that I wanted like 2 years ago, and it's like a size small. These are like my motivation coats. What I really, really want, if I had the money, I've been looking for them on sale, is I really want a Moncler winter coat. I think they're called Moncler, actually. And like M-O-N-C-L-E-R. They're like $1,250 for a winter coat, you guys. But they're like these like Swiss ski coats. And we went into the store in Fort Lauderdale. Oh my God, you guys, there's sweaters and hats and everything. The knitting is just unbelievable. It's like they had these lavish like turtleneck sweaters with these big knitting in them. It was gorgeous. It was like, oh my God, they looked like handmade sweaters with like the finest yarn in the world. It was just like beautiful. And then they had just like the coolest like hats and everything. And I actually got a pair of, I was online looking at stuff one day, and I got a pair of the Moncler sunglasses They're the ones that have the coat, like, material on them. I got them on they were on sale at Saks. They were like 50% off. I couldn't believe it. And I love those sunglasses. So I would really, one day I'll have one of those coats. I would really like to have one of those coats. But then the other thing is, I think spending that much money on a coat that you're not going to really need because it's not going to, I mean, for 2 or 3 months, right? Although it's like on a night tonight, like tonight, you could definitely wear it. I really want to find that Ralph Lauren coat. I don't know what happened to it. Like, Alex was like, is it in the back of your car? And I'm like, no. I'm like, I have no idea where I put that coat. I have no idea where whatsoever. I almost kind of wonder if I didn't leave it somewhere. Because, you know, I'm killing for leaving stuff somewhere. Like my icon hat on the plane to Los Angeles, which I ended up getting another one. Oh, wow. The long and winding road. Dun, 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 dun. We're going to brunch tomorrow. I already know what I'm having. I'm hungry for it right now. I mean, no, I'm not really, but I'm excited about my brunch tomorrow. I'm going to have an omelet smothered in, I'm gonna put, well, I don't know if I'm gonna get a California Dreamer. There's this omelet that I used to get, and it's called the omelet you can't refuse. And it has like potatoes inside of it, and bacon, and onion, or bacon, and a bunch of other stuff. And so I would have them take the bacon out of it, and then I would have them put in red onions instead. And it's like real cheesy. I think I had them put in extra cheese and onions. So I might do that, because I always get the California Dreamer. Tomorrow I might do that instead. And then an everything bagel toasted with cream cheese. And of course coffee. And I think tomorrow I might be getting an orange juice too, because I love orange juice so much. And then I don't know what we're going to do after that. We haven't really, I asked Alex if he had anything that he needed to do tomorrow, and he said no. And I said, is there anything you want to do tomorrow? He was like, no, just kind of hang out with you. And I was like, all right, babe. I was telling him tonight, I said, it's been really nice, like spending, you know, like just time around the house together, because we're both so busy, you know, that unless we're like on a trip or something, like when we're on a trip together, it's so nice because we're like together like 24 hours a day, you know. But I really miss him through the week, you know, when he's at work. And I mean, we text all through the day and stuff like that and call each other and whatever, but I really miss him, you know. And then when he comes home, I'm still kind of working on like videos and stuff like that, and he's unwinding. So even though we spend time together in the evenings, it's not like, I mean, I'm sure you guys understand. It's the same thing for you guys, you know. It's like, I don't know. I just really miss my husband, especially after we go on a vacation. I was looking at places for New Year's, because Alex is like, I don't want to stay here for New Year's. And I'm like, I don't want to stay here for New Year's either, but we said we weren't going to take any more trips. And it's like every place to go is like super expensive. And like a couple of our friends have said through the years, like, let's go to Gatlinburg and get a cabin. And Alex is always like, no, like he doesn't want to do that. Like he has no desire to do that. And I'm like, I think it would be fun. He's like, no, I don't want to do that. So he has like no desire to do the cabin thing, I think that would be fun, but he has no desire to do that. So we used to go to this party here every year downtown at the Regents Tower. It was like this big dressy thing. I said, well, I don't want to go to that. And he goes, oh, I don't want to go to that either. Like, we've done it. I feel like we've done the big party thing. Like, and I said, and I don't want to go to some town like Miami or Las Vegas. Oh, a couple of our friends are going to, well, they won't do anything for New Year's this year because they're going to see, I can't remember who they're seeing. It's on New Year's Eve in Las Vegas. Some musician. They're all excited about it. We know 2 couples that are going from the last trip. And Melissa and Jason, they said something about possibly going out there for New Year's too. I just don't want to go to New Year's for Las Vegas, or to Las Vegas for New Year's. I mean, I wouldn't say no, but you can't lay out by a pool. Alex is going to want to go to some club for New Year's Eve. I do not want to be in a club on New Year's Eve. I mean, I would do it, but it would have to be like a really fun thing. It would have to be like some kind of experience that was like, you know, like I've never done it before. I'm not saying I wouldn't do it. I would, but I would prefer to be like in Miami or Mexico or somewhere like that. And I was looking up stuff for Mexico because we have been talking about that because we haven't been in a while, you know, and it's so expensive. I don't like really expensive to, like, if we went and stayed at the place we stayed before, because they had a really, really nice, like, New Year's party thing that they did there. And it wasn't tons of people, and I think they'll probably do something similar to that. And they had a lot of spiritual stuff on the beach and whatever. So, you know, it was nice. That was also right after PP passed away, so we just kind of were like, we just kind of floated through stuff, and, but I will say this, the weather in Mexico at New Year's is, I mean, the water was crystal clear, more so than I'd ever seen it any other time of year, and the weather was perfect every day. Like, no rain, it was perfect every day. Wasn't too hot, never got cold in the evenings. So I looked at Mexico and I was like, oh God, this is like way expensive right now. So I don't know. We'll figure out something. If you guys have any suggestions for like New Year's Eve, like totally different experiences than we've ever done before, put it in the comment section below. I will say this, it is the holiday where Alex like wants to go and do something. I don't know, maybe we will do Vegas. I mean, we have some friends that are going to be out there. I'm not totally opposed to doing that. We'll just have to see, you know. I remember back in the day when we did do the Regions Tower party, because a lot of our friends would do it too, and we'd all get dressed up and wear suits and dresses and stuff like that, you know, and it was fun. It was really fun. But I mean, after you've done it 5 or 6 years in a row, it's like I can remember my friend and I way back in the day, what year was it? It wasn't 1999, because I do know what I was doing that year. I was house sitting for my dad. But I think it was like 1997 or 98 or something like that. My friend and I were standing at this bar here in Indianapolis, this gay bar called OP's. It's called Greg's now, but it was called Greg's or OP's back in the day, Our Place, but get it, Our Place, OP's. Anyway, I remember when it turned midnight and they played that, you know, Prince song, and I was like, I looked at my friend and I said, I will never be standing in a bar like this again in some dark corner when it turns midnight again. And he was like, yeah, I totally agree. And there's like a lot of things that I would love to do for New Year's, you know, like I'd love to go to Paris for New Year's. I heard it's incredible, but I mean, that's another trip that's going to be like super expensive, you know, to go to Paris. And I would love to do like some kind of super serene New Year's Eve. Alex, you know, of course, wants to do something a little bit more celebratory. I don't mind that. I don't mind doing something celebratory. You know, the other thing is I think his brother is going to be in town for Christmas. I don't know if he's going to stay through New Year's. So, like, we used to go over to his mom's house before. Like, they always, like, his mom always had, like, a big thing for New Year's. I don't think she's going to have a big thing this year, but she might just have family over and they cook and dance and play music and stuff. Like, I would be totally fine with that. The thing is, part of me always wants to do something that's cool and different and new on New Year's. And then the other part of me is like, I just don't care at all. Because it's kind of amateur night and I don't drink. Oh my God, that guy just like, he just passed 2 cars on, that scared the hell out of me. I mean, we were both going like a couple miles over the speed limit, and that was really scary. But at the same time, it's kind of like amateur night for me. I feel like, you know, and I mean that in no disrespect whatsoever, but it's just like a lot of people that go out and get wasted drunk on New Year's Eve because they don't really drink any other night. Like for me, then I have to deal with a lot of like really drinking, like college kind of drinking, like that I don't usually, like if I go out, you know, with Alex or whatever, you know, with friends, like I don't deal with that because I don't feel like that's what you see on a regular Saturday night out somewhere, you know, but like on New Year's Eve you do, even in very nice situations you see that, you know, so I don't know. Who knows what we'll do for New Year's, maybe a whole lot of nothing. I wanted to talk about the situation with I don't really even know what I'm going to say about it, but I thought it was a good question. When I was asked about being, you know, jealous of Alex's drinking, and could I not have like a special kind of drink or something that I consider special that's non-alcoholic, like on the porch with him or whatever. Okay, so I think it's a good question, right? And here's the thing. And they said, could you not drink it in like a champagne glass or a wine glass or whatever? You know, if it's New Year's or something like that and everybody's toasting to New Year's, I'll like toast a Diet Coke in a champagne glass or something. But I'm not real big on sitting there with like, I don't romanticize the drinking anymore. Like I don't sit there and this is just me personally. I don't feel like me drinking out of a champagne glass is going to make me relapse. Let's put it that way. But I don't, like, there's no need for me to do that. You know, very rarely when we go on vacations, like, to warm places, will I ever get, like, a fruity drink. Like, every once in a while, like, I will get, like, a virgin colada because I just like the taste of coconut in a drink. But very, very rarely, and because I always think to myself, like, there's so many calories in that, why not just get a Diet Coke instead, you know? You know, Tanya loves to drink virgin Bloody Marys. She just loves the taste of, like, spicy, you know, Worcestershire sauce and tomato juice with, like, a celery stick in it. Tanya loves that. I used to love that, too, back in the day. So I don't have an issue with those kinds of things, and I don't think those kinds of things will make me drink. I will not do the non-alcoholic beer. I will, because there is some alcohol in the non-alcoholic beer. Now, there are all of these new things that have come out that are like, there's like non-alcoholic whiskey, supposedly. I don't know anything. I've never seen it. I don't know anything about it. A friend of mine was telling me about it. And then I do know that there's like all of these like non-alcoholic, supposedly non-alcoholic ales that like are like IPAs, but I don't know what they are. Anyway, I know people that have drank them, not people that go to meetings with me, but I know people that, to me, that's romanticizing the drink, right? And I don't have, like, okay, first of all, this is the thing, right? As much as I did love the taste of beer, I didn't drink beer for the taste of it, okay? And that's not how I ever ended up getting sober. I drank beer because I wanted to get drunk, period. Like, I liked the buzz. I liked the effect of it, right? So when I say that I'm jealous of the fact that I can't just sit down on the back patio and have a glass of wine with my husband or have a beer and whatever, right? If you really dig deep down into what I'm saying, I'm really not saying, like, I'm jealous of the fact that I can't sit on the back patio and have a beer. Because to do that, I can sit on the back patio and I can have a Diet Coke. And quite frankly, that's exactly the same thing, right? I just think, like, there's something, and we all know this, there's something different that occurs when you've had a couple glasses of wine or a couple beers and you're sitting out there, you smoke a joint with your friend or whatever, right? There's something different that occurs. You have, you know, these conversations, you get buzzed with your friends, it's fun, you know, whatever, like, right? Like, hey, listen, I drank and used those substances because they were fun. The problem was they didn't work for me anymore. If they worked for me, I'd still be using them. They just didn't work for me anymore, right? But they were fun, and I had a good time when I was using them, and they didn't cause me problems. So I don't have any problem with people like enjoying substances and having fun with them every once in a while, but like there is, I think on some level, a connection that you have, like if you and a friend split a bottle of wine or smoke a joint, or you know what I'm saying, right? Or have a couple beers on the front porch, right? That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm jealous of. I'm not jealous of the fact that I can't have a glass of wine. I'm jealous of not being able to bond within the experience of what that's like. And, you know, often, like going out, not so much I would say in the last 5 years, but like at the beginning of our relationship, like sometimes I would feel left out. Like I would feel third wheel-ish a little bit, you know? Like, because I would be like, okay, well, everybody's buzzed and having a good time, and here I am over here, and it's like, you know, and then there'd be inside jokes, and and I just wasn't part of that, you know, and it was hard. So yes, there are, you know, whatever. When we went to Fort Lauderdale, actually, with the couple that we were out with tonight, we went to this pizza place in Fort Lauderdale that our friend Brittany had shown us the time that we were there before, and it was so much fun. I can't remember what it was called, but we went there and it was like these amazing pizzas, and they're really known for their cocktails there. Like their, what do you call it? Oh shoot, what's the word I'm looking for? Like they're mixologist bartenders, right? Like they have these supposedly really cool cocktails, and so everybody was like trying the different cocktails. Like Alex, our friend's husband, and our other friend, like the three of them were trying cocktails. I was driving that night. Well, I was driving and our friend is pregnant, so she couldn't obviously drink, and so they had a list of mocktails on there. Now, I don't usually drink mocktails because for me, unless it's like a mocktail that's kind of like fun and different, like, okay, at this First Watch, this breakfast place, like when Sarah and I went there a while ago, they have this lavender drink, and it wasn't really like a mocktail per se. It was just like a different kind of like fruity drink that they had that was supposed to be healthy for you in the morning. Like, I loved trying that. Like, that was kind of fun, right? But I don't usually try mocktails because for me to pay $10 for a drink when I can get a Diet Coke for $3 or something like that, it's just, I don't know. I don't get, like that's what I'm saying. It's not really about that for me. It's about the buzz. And if I can't have the buzz, then I don't really understand the point of it. It's like, okay, it's like if you're not an alcoholic and you say to an alcoholic, I don't understand why you can't just have like a couple and then just stop and start drinking Diet Coke, right? Like my stepmom, when I was growing up, we would like go out and she would drink, you know, she'd have fun, you know, glass of wine, gin and tonics, whatever. But like at 9 o'clock we would be like all Mexico, Grand Cayman, like 9 o'clock on the dot, she stopped drinking. And I can remember one day I asked her, I said, you know, why do you always stop at 9 o'clock? She's like, I don't want to be hungover tomorrow. Like, I want to enjoy it. I'm like, I don't even why are you even drinking? Like, that doesn't even make sense to me. Like, having one margarita, okay, which are not that great anyway, let's be for real, or having one glass of wine or one, I just don't get it. Like, I don't understand it because that's not why I ever drank. Does that make sense? Oh, the battery's about to die. And so it's very similar probably to how many of you are with alcoholics. If you've never been a drinker like that, you're like, I just don't understand why you don't just stop. Well, I don't understand why you would stop. Like, it's the back and forth. And it's really all about control. So I don't, like that, on that trip, I did not have any, where am I at on time? I want to make sure I know. I didn't have any of the mocktails, but they looked fun. She got like a non-alcoholic old-fashioned, and I'm just like, okay, first of all, I don't like old-fashions, okay? I didn't like them when I was drinking, and I'm sure as hell not gonna like a mocktail version of one, you know? I mean, how about a can I not get over this way? How about a mocktail, they close this all off. How about a mocktail version of a Jack and Coke that I won't get drunk on? I'll still feel really happy, and I won't have any problems that go along with it. You know what I mean? But that doesn't even make any sense, because that's like, well, that's drinking, right? That's drinking, right? You know? I don't know. You mean to tell you what I think about like having a drink, like tonight with my husband having a glass of beer, you know, at this thing? I think what it means to an alcoholic when you don't drink and like your partner does and we go out to dinner like that, I think it means expensive dinner bills, okay? I think it means I don't feel bad getting an extra appetizer because you're getting a $10 drink and I'm getting a Diet Coke that costs $2. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't feel bad about that. And Tanya and I always laugh about that because we're like, people don't understand, like, you know, they'll look at you like, oh my God, you're getting a dessert. You got 4 drinks. Like, seriously? You know, I mean, not like our husbands, but like people that will like be like, oh my God, you know, like, how is the bill so expensive? You had 4 drinks. They were $12 each. Oh, that glass of wine you had, each of those glasses of wine were $15 each, okay? So you had 3 glasses of wine, that's $45. That's why your bill is expensive. I'll be right back. You want to talk about the scariest moment in the entire world? Let me tell you what just happened, okay? So I am like in this, so, okay, on the interstate, on Keystone, you can either go north, because there's so much construction right now, or you can go through where these offices are, and they weave back around to 82nd Street. I know if you don't live in Indianapolis, this is making no sense to you, which is like 99% of the people that watch my vlog. But anyway, so I'm back here in these offices, right? Okay, it's Saturday night at 1:52 in the morning, and so I pulled into one of the office parking lots. I literally just like pulled into a parking lot, and I'm sitting there, and I'm not even looking, right? And there's a car parked like right next to me, like I'm parked here, like in the road to go out, like not in the road, but in the parking lot, like going out, and like in the parking lot, like literally, I mean, probably 8 feet from me is a car parked that way. And so I'm sitting here and I'm changing the battery, and all of a sudden I look over and I see the door fly open, and this girl looks over at me, and I was like, oh my God, I was like, I don't know what was going on, but there's like no cars in the parking lot. Her car was completely dark, and she just looked at me, and I was like, sorry, and she was like nodded, like she was in trouble or something. I was like, oh my God, it scared the hell out of me. So anyway, I don't know, like at 26 years, how I feel about it. Like, I would definitely like try, like I've tried mocktails through the years, you know, and I'll go to, you know, people's houses, and people are, oh, this stupid battery tonight, or the Focus. People are really nice about it. Like, people know I don't drink, right? So when I go to their house, they always typically have fun things. I actually remember this girl that we've been friends with for years and years and years. Like, the first time we met her, and which was at her birthday party at this place called Rehab, incidentally. No, it was like this pool party. It was like a rip-off of like the Las Vegas, you guys know about, there's a party on Sundays in Las Vegas. I don't know what pool it's at, but what hotel, but it's called Rehab. And it's supposed to be like the day after like going out, and it's like this huge pool party. So they used to throw one here every Sunday at this place called Bella Vita, which is now Wolfie's at Geist, and we used to go to it every Sunday, and like we were part of helping throw it. And so this girl had her birthday there, and I remember it was her 33rd birthday. I don't know how I know that, but anyway, so we were there, and like our friend that threw it, like we were helping him, and so he introduced us to her, and we became like quick friends, like right away, like all 3 of us. And so that was like, her birthday was right before Alex and I's birthday, and so then she took us out to dinner, I think, dinner or lunch, but I think it was dinner, for, I can't remember where we went, but I remember it was in Broad Ripple, for our birthdays. And then that's like when we really got to know her, and I can remember she was like asking me all these, I love when you meet somebody or you talk to a friend on the phone. Like, this is to me like a huge, like, if you ask me, like, Peter, how do you, like, judge the character of somebody, like, in your life, you know? Like, which we shouldn't do, right? But, like, I mean, we do, you know, think if people have good character or not. I think, like, when you're talking to somebody, if they ask you about yourself as well, it's like, have you ever had the friend that you, like, call on the phone and they just talk about themselves for, like, an hour, and then they're like, gotta go, and every time is like that? Yeah, I've had those friends, too. And I still have a few friends like that, you know? It's like, I'm not gonna hurt their feelings by saying, you're so selfish that you never realize that maybe I have a life as well, you know what I mean? But whatever. So right away, like, she was just so cool with us, and she, you know, we asked her a lot about herself, and then she shared all kinds of stories, and then she asked us about ourselves. And I remember she was asking me a lot of questions about being sober and when I got sober and stuff like that. Well, then she had us over to her house. She used to do these things that were called, what she called them something funny. I remember it started with the client list with Jennifer Love Hewitt, the movie. And we would go over to her house like on Monday nights, Monday Lifetime movie nights is what I think she called them. And we would go over there and she would like either do carry out or she would make dinner. And then we would all sit around and watch. It was so fun. We would watch a Lifetime movie that had just come out, because they used to come out, I think they came out on every Monday. And so we would watch them. But I remember the first time that I ever went to her house, she had like all of these different like sodas and stuff for me. Like she was really considerate in trying to like make sure that she had things that because they were like, you know, obviously like sitting there having drinks and stuff. And so she was like making sure that I was like, I felt included in that too, which just kind of goes back to the question that I was asked originally, you know? Yeah, I mean, Alex and I do sit on the patio and have conversations in the evenings and stuff. But that's not really, I guess, the part of what I was saying, you know? I don't know. I just think that every day that you get sober, there's that alcoholic longing inside of you that gets stronger too. Like, you know, I remember when I first got sober and my counselor said to me, every day that you get sober, your alcoholic addict is going to get stronger as well. Like your sober self is getting stronger, but your addict alcoholic is getting stronger too, you know? And I think it's true. I think it's really, really true. And to a point that I don't know that I even really recognized. I Steak and Shake open this late at night? I thought they were closed down this late at night. I don't see anybody in there eating. No, they've got a cone over there. I miss going to Steak and Shake late at night. I don't miss the pounds that I packed on from it, but I do think that's like one thing. There are like things that you can do, like if you have sober people in your life, you know, to ask them first of all, like, do you mind if like, is it going to bother you if I drink around you? Even if you're at a restaurant or wherever, I think it's just considerate. I think the majority of people that have been sober for a while or work a program, you know, it's our responsibility to let people know. And, you know, and I will say this, like, I've never been in a situation, well, first of all, I don't think past year 2, I ever asked anybody not to drink. That's not true. There's been a couple of times with Alex, like, where we'll go to like some function and I'll just be like, can you not drink tonight so that I don't, and it's more like, not because I want to drink, but it's more like, because I don't want to feel alone. Like, I don't want to feel like the only person that's not drinking, you know what I mean? But like, as far as like asking somebody not to drink because I was like really wanting to drink, I don't think that has happened past like year 2 for me. I also think that I didn't put myself in a lot of difficult situations. Like I really wanted this thing, you know? Like, I really, really, really wanted to be sober. And so I knew at some point, like, I was resistant at first. I mean, there was a lot of things I was told to do that I didn't do, you know? Or at least I fought them and asked why a lot. I think it was my second sponsor would be like, why are you asking why? Oh, let's just do it. Just do it. You know, like, you don't need to know the why. Just do it. But I really wanted to stay sober. And there became a point when, like, the things that I was told to do, I just did. So if I was going to a situation where there was going to be alcohol, I asked myself, is there a reason for me being here? Like, not just you go into a liquor store to buy a pack of cigarettes. I can't tell you how many times I've heard people get drunk on the fact that every day they went to a liquor store and got a pack of cigarettes. Okay, they sell cigarettes everywhere. You don't need to go to a liquor store to get a pack of cigarettes, right? Hold on a second. This thing is like, this beanbag has seen better days. Okay. Half of the beanbag is either in the chair or on the floor, first of all. The other thing is, like, we aren't told that we can't go to bars and stuff like that, you know. I know huge groups of young people that are, like, in their early 20s that they'll go to a meeting and then they'll go to, like, they'll have a friend that's in a band and they'll go to a bar to hear the band and eat dinner, like a restaurant bar, you know, or something like that. And they'll all go together. And that's what I was taught. Like, if you're going to go somewhere, first of all, ask yourself, what's my motive for being here? And second, like, is my motive just to sit in a bar because I miss a bar? Or is my motive, like, to go out dancing with a girlfriend, or to, you know, go on a date, or are there other places I can go, things like that. I mean, not at 20 plus years, but in your first couple years, I think. Well, I mean, that's what the literature tells us. But anyway, but I don't really ask myself that much anymore. But I do, like, I think almost unconsciously have like a safety plan in my head for any given time. Not because I'm gonna drink, but because just sometimes stuff gets to me. So, you know, like, I'll always, like, before we go out and do anything social whatsoever, like, even when we were in Las Vegas, like, I'll say to everybody, like, I may not make it the duration, you guys. Like, when we went to, the night that we went to the nightclub, when the chain smokers were there, like, I told everybody, I said, I might not make it the duration, you know, and they were like, that's cool, just whatever, you know, just have fun. And I actually stayed a lot longer than I thought I did, you know, or thought I would, but, and I had a great time, but I always want to reserve the right to be able to, like, check out and not feel like I have to make excuses for it. So if I've already said something, then I can just say, hey, you guys, I think I'm gonna head out, you know, and nobody ever has an issue with it. You know, one of the greatest things has been, I mean, really, truly, I mean this, is the invention of Uber. I mean, there were taxi cabs before, but because now, like, if Alex and I go somewhere or go out and he wants to stay for another hour or whatever, like, I don't have an issue with him staying, you know? I'll watch a movie or listen to audiobook or film my vlog or whatever, or go see Tanya and get a fountain pop. But, like, if I don't want to stay and he wants to, he can Uber home, right? And then I know he's going to be safe, and, you know, I don't have to worry about how he's going to get home and things like that. And that has been really great, I think, in the last 5 to 7 years since Uber's been around or whatever, you know? Lyft and Uber. I think Alex takes Lyft more because there's some reason he doesn't like Uber. I can't remember what it is. But anyway, I don't really do either one of them unless we're out of town because I don't need to here in town. But anyway, you know, that was one of the things, is that I always, like, I don't know that it's called a safety plan. I mean, when I was in early sobriety, I mean, yes, my sponsor would say, like, what's your safety plan for going to this wedding that, you know, there's going to be a lot of drinking at? Well, I'm going with my mom, or I'm doing this. I'm going with, you know, like, that's one of the things they recommend. Always go with a sober person. Take a sober person. Well, I'm going to a wedding and there's no +1. Then is this a wedding that you really need to go to? Well, I guess not, but I want to go to this wedding and I feel like I should. Well, then call and ask them and say, hey, listen, I'm newly sober. Can I bring a sober person with me? You know, like, we make things so difficult that we don't have to make difficult. I can't imagine anybody saying, well, no. You know, they might say, well, we've only, like, got enough, you know, we've only paid for enough dishes and I'm sorry about that or whatever, you know, but then you have to make the choice. Maybe this is something that I need to not go to, you know, and then say to the person, hey, I'd love to come, but if I can't bring somebody sober, and I totally understand the expenses of it and whatever, but then maybe this is something that I'm going to need to bow out, but I definitely will be at the wedding, you know. I mean, we don't have to show up to everything. I think that's the other thing that I learned through the years about, you know, being sober. I remember this girlfriend of mine a couple years ago. Oh God, like 8 years ago now. It was when I came back and going into meetings. One day we had left a meeting and we were, like, trying to figure out a place to go eat. And there's this bar in Noblesville called Sid's, and it's right on the corner. And I mean, it is like a bar, you guys, like corner bar in a small ass town. Okay. I just cussed. I don't cuss that much anymore. That's about the worst that it gets, is ASS or damn. But anyway, I mean, it's this cute little bar, like, in the middle of nowhere, right? Or, I mean, it's in Noblesville, in the downtown Noblesville. I drive by there a lot when I vlog, and it's right on the corner. And so she was supposedly known for their tenderloins, like, they have the best tenderloins. And she's like, I'm really craving a tenderloin. And here I am, like, you know, at the time, like, 26 years sober now. I mean, it's 28, 29 years sober. 18, 19 years sober, you know, and she at the time had like 11 months or 10 months or something. And I was like, well, if you want to go to, she was like, would you mind if we went to Sid's? Like, I'm really craving, like, a tenderloin. And I'm like, I mean, if that's what you want to do, we can, you know. And she looked at me and with, like, all seriousness. I don't know why this cracked me up so much at the time, but she looked at me with such all seriousness, and she goes, are you spiritually fit enough to go to Sid's and eat? And I go, I think so. I think so, you know. But it is a good question to ask yourself. Like, I mean, at that point, I was like, I mean, if I'm going to drink, it's not going to be I guess it could be at Sid's over a tenderloin with a beer, you know, on a 4 o'clock on a Tuesday or something, but I didn't think so. I didn't think that was going to be the thing, you know, that was going to make me go back out, but maybe. I don't even really entertain the idea of, like, if I was going to go back out, like, I mean, I think I've probably had those conversations on here at one point or another, but I don't really on a regular basis entertain, like, if I were to go back out, like, what would be the thing that would push me over the edge? Because I've been through all those things almost. Well, not all of them, but, you know, I've been through a lot. I thought if my mom passed away, I wouldn't make it and I'd start drinking. And then my mom got sick and I realized the last thing that she would ever want was for me to drink, you know, as a sober person. I went through breakups where I just thought that I wasn't going to make it. I went through horrific marital problems. I went through just, you know, a year of, I don't know that I would call it depression, or if it was, like, it was situational depression for about 6 months to a year, but it was situational based on our marriage. And I also had a friendship at the time that she and I are now friends again. And no, it's not really anybody that I've ever talked about on here, but she and I were very, very close. And she just one day stopped talking to me completely, and I had no idea what it was about, you know. And Tanya was very close with her, and I had other friends that were very close with her. And you know, she's since apologized to me, and we've really had a nice talk about it since then. But it was, I mean, that has been years now. I mean, that was like right when Alex and I started dating. So that was probably like 11, well, no, right when, but maybe like 11, 12, no, it was pretty close to when we started dating. So 12 or 13 years ago, you know. And I went through some really hard times, and I mean, she and I were so close, and not as close as Tanya and I are, but she and I were close, and we didn't talk anymore. And I didn't know what I had done. I had no idea, to find out later that what it was that she really thought I saw right through her on a romantic situation, you know. We got in an argument about something one night I'll never forget, sitting in this car, and she said something, and about telling and it doesn't matter, the specifics of it don't matter, but anyway, and I said da 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 da, and I'll never forget, she got out of the car and she looked at me and she slammed the door. Well, she never really told Tanya this till years later, and then she finally told me, and she said, I was so afraid because you saw it exactly through me, like, you saw who I was in that moment. And she was like, I had to put distance between that because I wasn't really ready to accept that at that point yet. And so it was about her and this relationship. And, you know, and I love her dearly, and I didn't understand what was going on. I had no clue. And that was, you know, at a time that Alex and I's relationship was up and down. I mean, it didn't, like, get worse until years later, but, like, I mean, I've had moments where I thought I would, you know, early sobriety, I thought I would drink a lot. And then, you know, so I don't really entertain today ideas in my head. There's no reason to, you know, like, like, it's interesting, like, looking back and having worked in treatment and stuff, and we would come up with, like, relapse plans and whatever. Relapse plans are interesting to me and that's really a treatment idea. The idea of relapse is really a treatment word. It's not a recovery word at all. You don't hear, I mean, you do hear it thrown around in 12-step meetings, but because it was learned in treatment programs, right? You know, the relapse is a return to using. But really a relapse plan is, I guess, either try some controlled drinking or using to see if you're maybe not an alcoholic or an addict, or get your butt back to a 12-step meeting and call your sponsor or call somebody for help, because it's not going to get any better. One or the other. That's for me. Like, it's just black or white today. But I didn't see things the way back then that I do now. You know, I mean, I've also since then, like, seen the same story 100 different ways, if that makes sense, you know, and, you know, seeing people go back out and die and come back in and start their lives over again, and, you know, I don't know. So I don't, like, today, I don't entertain, like, what are like, what are the things that would get me back to drinking again? I just asked myself, like, you know, on a daily basis, I, you know, thank my higher power for my life and for my sobriety. And then, you know, if we're going to do something, if it's anything at all that I'm kind of like, oh, I don't know what I think about this. Well, what's interesting about this is, so when I came back in going into meetings, like, there were things like that, like tailgating to a football game. Now, to like a Colts game or something, I don't think I would have any problem doing that. But going on the IU campus, like, that was really hard for me. I mean, it was just like, I mean, and today, I'm also a little bit different than I was back then. Like, I was very quiet. You know, I had social anxiety. I was scared of my own shadow. So, and, like, I just was like, I'm going to be with Alex all the time. And, you know, and he felt the same way. And so it was like, he's going to go to IU and go tailgating. No, I'm going to go then too, you know? And that was stupid. And that was like, we actually did it on 2 separate occasions. The first time was a complete mess. And the second time was okay. It still was boring to me, but he was like, I just want to show you like a good time tailgating. And we went with like one of his guy college friends and then another couple that we're friends with, that they were actually at the IMA today. Alex said he saw it on Instagram. But anyway, so, and then like the snake pit at the racetrack and some other things. It's just like when Alex goes to Chicago for the music festivals, like those are just not, I don't, like Ultra is one thing, but for me to do all that, and I just know that there are some places I don't need to be, you know? Because the other thing is, not because it's going to make me drink, but because it's going to make me irritable, restless, and discontent. And so if there are things today that I just think, you know, like, that's probably not, I don't need to be there. It's funny when I think about that, though, like, about the snake pit and all of that. Like, today, like, back then, I was really like, I want to go, I want to be part of it, but I don't want to go because it could be dangerous for me, and I just came back in, and I really shouldn't be going to this thing, and whatever. I was really having, like, you know, fear of missing out. And now I look at it today, and if Alex was like, okay, I got VIP passes, because he always does, to go to the snake pit, you know, it's like VIP parking is drive right in and park and everything. If he was like, do you want to go? I'd be like, no. Go, have a good time, and I will be back here with the frozen pizzas, and we can watch a movie when you get home and just relax for Memorial Day weekend, you know? I get bored on Memorial Day weekend because there's not a whole lot to do, you know, when they do have the race and stuff, because I'm like, everybody's having barbecues and families. Oh, this year we went to Caroline's, didn't we? And they didn't have they had minimal people, and they didn't do the snake pit. But yeah, like I said, like back then, I was like quiet. Like, I just kind of like went along, even at like, you know, even though I was like in my late 30s, I just like, you know, I met Alex, and Alex had this like exuberant, over the top kind of like personality. And like, I don't know, it was just like, he was so fun to be out with and do stuff that I always wanted to be there, even though I would wait, you know, like if you go out and you're like having a good time, but then like you push the limit. Okay, let's compare it to something that Peter can totally understand. You know, like when you're at, like, let's say a pitch-in, right? And there's like cheese balls and cheese plates and fruit and vegetables, and oh, there's like a great cheese dip, and maybe there's chili, and maybe there's cookies, and there's, let's talk about Halloween, right? Caramel apples, and there's this and there's that. And you like eat all this cheese, and like then they have like, you know, a bowl of like little Snicker bars and stuff. You're eating all that, little candy bars, and the Three Musketeers and all that. You're eating all this, right? And then about an hour in, you get to the point where you're sitting on the couch and you're like, oh my God, I'm so uncomfortable, I've eaten too much. Okay, I equate that to like when I like go do something that an hour or two I'm great with, but 5 hours is like, I'm way full, I can't even move, I overdid it. Do you know what I mean? So today, I stop at the first bowl of chili. I mean, not literally, I never do. I never stop at the first bowl of chili. But like, as far as doing things, I stop at the first bowl of chili. Back then, I'd eat 10 bowls of chili and be standing there acting like everything was okay. And it was miserable. It was no way to live. You know, today I dictate how I live. But it's been a lot of work that Alex and I have done in marriage counseling. You know, I've only ever really discussed the tip of the iceberg about all the things that we've learned in marriage counseling. You know, it was like, look, you know, the importance for Alex and I to each have our own independent lives is really, really, really important. As much as I love to spend time with him and I miss him through the week, like, it's important for me to be able to, like, have a night that I go with Tanya and I, you know, go to my meeting and he knows that, you know, and then I go get a fountain pop and I come home right as he's getting ready to go to bed typically, you know, and it's important for him to have a night where he goes out with his girlfriends and goes and has dinner or goes out to, you know, a bar and has a couple drinks and dances. Like, it's important, you know, and I think it's important for us to have that space to miss each other and to, you know, go have our own lives and stuff. I've been in relationships where I was so enmeshed with the other person that it wasn't healthy, you know, where it was just like 24 hours a day we were with each other. And honestly, that's kind of how Alex and I were the first couple of years, and I really think that led to a lot of our problems. Because I think it was almost kind of like at times where, you know, when you're like a little kid and you're with your best friend and you play like every day in the summer, and then your mom is like, okay, you guys need a break. You start fighting one day and then your mom's like, okay, you guys need a break from each other. Like, Johnny, Susie, go home and we'll see you in 3 days. You know, like that kind of thing. Like, I think couples need breaks from each other. They need to miss each other and stuff. You know, my husband taught me that. This Century 21 sign here, this realtor says, do more of what makes you happy. I'm going to do more of what makes me happy. I'm going to do more of it right now. I didn't realize I've been vlogging for so long, you guys. So, that being said, Dairy Queen. Dairy Queen sounds so good right now, a blizzard. You know, I have not reviewed, maybe I could review that tomorrow. I said I wasn't going to do any reviews though, didn't I? I haven't reviewed the Dairy Queen Fall Blizzard yet. So maybe tomorrow. I was just telling our friends, I want to come to this, where is it at? Rosie's. It's right on the corner somewhere here in Zionsville. Oh my God, there was these kids walking down the street in Zionsville in the middle of the night. What are they doing? They're walking down an alley, like in this, by this flower shop. That's interesting. Anyway, I just passed it, I think, Rosie's. It's like this brunch place. I've never been there. I've always wanted to go. I think Valerie's been there. Maybe Valerie and I'll go there someday. Tanya always says, we should go to Noblesville and walk around and have lunch. Or we should go to Zionsville and walk around. This is Zionsville. Look how cute it is, you guys. I love Zionsville. It looks like Haddonfield, doesn't it? Look at this tree over here. Isn't it so cute? Do you guys see it's brick roads? Look at this house right here. This house is so nice. Look at that, beautiful. Do you see? I love it. I love all these houses. Aren't they so cute? This one's one of my favorites too, right here. They've got all these pumpkins on. I don't know if you can even see it the way that I'm... Anyway, this one's the one. I did show you this the other night because I showed you how it's like decorated and it's got all the kind of like the stuff going on inside. Anyway, you guys, I'm gonna get off here now and I am going to listen to my audiobook. And I hope, if nobody else has told you this today, I love you. Nobody else has told you this today, what? I love you. And I hope that you guys are having a magically amazing Sunday. And I hope that you're getting refreshed and renewed, rejuvenated, and restarted for the week ahead. I remembered 4 words tonight. Remind me next week. Anyway, and yeah, so enjoy. Enjoy your Sunday. I love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Love ya! Oh, and for all of those, for the ones that want to hear it, and I guess maybe for some of those that need to hear it, and if you just stuck around to the very end and you can't get to the tablet in time to turn it off, one more I love you, or the remote or whatever. One more I love you. I love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Love ya!